Greg Sankey thinks as many as 8 SEC teams should be in the college football playoff. That math ain't mathing, but I'm here for it.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on every platform and on YouTube, so hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So Greg Sankey is on the campaign trail for the SEC. Mentioned on Monday that as many as 8 SEC teams should be considered for the college football playoff field, including teams like Missouri and Tennessee. I like Papa Sankey out here promoting the conference. That math isn't going to math, but I think this is hey, we think 8, but we're going to settle for 6.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to go ahead and say no. Look, I expect the way things can go and the way I think things will go, we will have 5 teams in the playoffs because there's a very good chance that you have 4 SEC teams that are 10-2. So you'd be 3 10-2s, a 10-3, and an 11-1 or 12-0. There's a 13-0. There's a very good chance, or even 12-1 or 13-0. I digress. It's a very good chance you have 5 teams with 10 wins. And if you end up with 5 teams with 10 wins, yeah, we're probably going to get every single one of them in there. But I don't see a 9-3 team getting in there this year, even with us. Like, we can beat Bama, move up. But if we lose one of Missouri or LSU, there's a very good chance we get knocked completely out of it, mainly because LSU and Missouri, neither one of them will most likely be ranked when we face them. If Missouri wins this coming weekend, sure, they may move up the rankings and possibly be like 24, 25-ish, but they ain't going to be in a respectable spot enough in order to help Oklahoma at the end of the season. Same thing with Alabama. If they lose to us and they lose to Auburn at the end of the season, they're out. They're not going to make it because that Florida State loss was so bad, plus an Auburn loss on top of it. So that'd be 2 teams that are now not ranked. Yeah, that with losing records, not even bowl eligible. Yeah. Most likely will get them completely eliminated from it. So it's going to be tough, but I do see a world where there's a possibility where you've got Texas A&M, Georgia, Alabama, us, and probably Texas or Vanderbilt in the playoffs. There is a very good chance that can happen.
So I pulled up the ESPN, college football playoff predictor, just, for fun here, and just to see what would happen if Oklahoma were to win out. And obviously they'd be in the college football playoff. They'd be one of, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're getting a
five SEC teams. You get A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama in there. The interesting thing here, Jay, is if Oklahoma loses to Alabama and wins against Missouri and LSU, they still have a 44% chance to make the playoff. And ESPN would project them as the 10 seed in that scenario.
I just don't see it. I don't see 6 teams making it in there. Now, Vanderbilt has
they'd still be the 5th team.
There'd
only be 5, yeah.
Well, I guess the question for me is, where's Vanderbilt? Like, is Vanderbilt in a situation that are they being overlooked? Ole Miss, of course. I didn't even mention Ole Miss when I talked about the teams that I mentioned. I mean, that's A&M, Bama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, and Oklahoma, which could all potentially, and Vanderbilt. That's 7 teams that could finish with 10 wins, possibly.
Yeah.
Which is wild to even think, but that is an actual possibility because really the only teams that intersect here is going to be Georgia, Texas, and Texas A&M. So Texas would have to beat one of those 2 teams. Actually, they would have to beat both of those teams. And if they beat both of those teams can still end up with 10 wins at the end of the season. So it's really big on Texas's back. Ole Miss has no reason not to finish out the season strong with 11 wins. Alabama can still finish the season 10-2 because we're going to beat them this weekend. I'm just going to go ahead and say it out loud. And then you have A&M, which they could finish with, with one loss, which would be against Texas. And in that case, it'd be A&M versus Ole Miss or Georgia, one of those three, in the SEC championship game. But those three are automatically in there. Us and Bama would be in there. And Texas with 3 losses will probably be eliminated. So then at least Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt could jump up there too. There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, Vanderbilt's the wild card there. I mean, if Vanderbilt wins out, they beat Kentucky and they beat Tennessee, they're going to be in the playoff, I think. I just think, one, that story of Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt is too good that, listen, I know we don't want to admit that ratings and all that stuff play into this, but it certainly does. Storytelling plays into it, just like it will with March Madness. Diego Pavia is a story that they're going to want to have in the playoff. And if they win out, they're a 10-2 team. And I don't have an argument against them being in the playoff. It's a really good team. Now, do they have, these big signature wins? If you want to call Missouri that, okay, maybe, but they didn't beat Texas. They didn't beat Bama. They didn't beat Georgia. Did they play Georgia? I think they played Georgia. No, they didn't play Georgia. Vandy.
No, they have not this year.
Sorry, I don't know Vandy's schedule, but
no, it's okay. Yeah, I pulled it up. No, they have not. They have Tennessee coming up to end the season, and I mean they've got a kind of cake schedule.
So what's interesting, like you look at, so at the time that they played South Carolina was number 11 in the nation. At the time that they played LSU was number 10 in the nation.
Right,
Missouri was number 15 in the nation. So like, a big picture look at their schedule, it looks impressive, these wins, but LSU stinko, South Carolina's terrible, Missouri is pretty good, but just kind of okay.
Technically 3 wins against ranked teams that were ranked at the time when they played them, and they were all ranked within the top 15 in the country when they played them.
Same with Oklahoma, because Auburn, Michigan, and Tennessee. So there you go. I mean, listen, it's a good team with a good story. I bet that they make it if they're 10-2.
They beat Kentucky and Tennessee, they're in.
Yeah.
Period. Now that hurts us because we would like Tennessee to have a really nice record. Mm-hmm. That makes our resume look so much better, but at the same time, I don't think that Tennessee loses. So that loss to Vanderbilt may not knock them out the top 25. They may be in the top 20 at that point, but we need a lot of Sankey is very ambitious with his take. I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either. I just see this as a guy selling his conference.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you're selling a car, you're asking, 20% over what you're willing to take for it, basically. And that's just what Greg Sankey's doing here. Really what needs to happen to clarify some of this is Georgia just needs to beat Texas this week, and then A&M needs to beat Texas at the end of the season. Oklahoma wins out, easy breezy, no big deal. But a 9-3 Texas team might be a team that's in consideration. A 9-3 Oklahoma team might be a team that's in consideration. Like I said yesterday, those two teams are better than BYU. They're better than a second place Big 12 team. I'm not here for any conversation that has a second place Big 12 team in the playoff, unless that second place team is Texas Tech because they lost in the Big 12 championship game, which I could totally see the Big 12 rigging it to where they do lose in the Big 12 championship game just to get a second team into the playoff.
Honestly, I think that if Tech loses in the Big 12 championship, it knocks them out of the playoffs.
I love that. Although some of the projections I've seen that have Texas going to Lubbock for the first round game, I kind of want that.
I inject that in my veins, and then send them to College Station right afterwards.
Yes. Yeah, like that would be so. It'd be so fun. It'd be just a lot of fun. Now, if Oklahoma had to go to Jones, I'm not sure how I'd feel about that.
I would totally love to go down to Lubbock. Send us down there. I think we could.
Last time we were there, it went well for Oklahoma.
Exactly.
Theo Weiss had a big game. Caleb Williams had a big game for the Sooners in that one. So
let's get it. Well, we played them with Dylan Gabriel, didn't we? In 22.
Yeah, I think that was that was in Norman.
Was that Norman? I thought that was there. It felt like it was there. Let me look it up.
We're doing all kinds of great schedule research here on the show today because it's a throwback episode. Apparently,
it really is. No, it was at Texas Tech. It was an overtime loss, 51-48.
Man, I could have sworn they played there in 21 too. No,
Yeah,
that
they
was
did
at
play
home,
there.
I guess.
21 was at home.
Was at home.
52-21.
Yeah. I just remember that being a night game and Theo Wees going off.
Yeah, that was the Theo Weiss game. And then we didn't play him in 23 at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's fun. Tell us what was your favorite Big 12 game from the last couple of seasons that we got to play in the Big 12. I don't know. That I digress. The Texas game, really, that was the best one. But that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. My mouth is just getting tired, apparently. My coffee ran out, and so I don't have any lubrication here. Follow me at John 9 Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay. I'm John. Boomer
Sooner.